Here is every single way that I am negotiating leases to do Airbnb in apartments or houses. Arbitrage. Every single one of them. In multiple cities, we've got multiple deals in play currently, and how we found the deals and how we're negotiating them are all different. There are about 5 ways that you can pick up leases for houses or apartments. In this video, I'm going to walk you through those and some tips. So that way, if you're going at it alone and you're trying to pick up a property, this video will definitely help. My name's Sean Rakijic, and I've been teaching how to negotiate with landlords for about 6 years. It's one of my favorite topics, and today I'm going to give you some real sauce. The gatekeeping is going away. Let's go. Welcome back, YouTube world. So I survived. I know I'm beating up a dead horse by now, probably a couple weeks at Burning Man, and it was not what I expected. The rain hit, people died, people cried, people tried to escape, and they failed. I got braids. That was easier to not have to wash my hair, and I kind of like them. It reminds me of the days back when I used to train to fight, so I might keep them for a while. And in that 2-week span, I rediscovered my love for work. I'm all of a sudden excited to work really hard again, which is really, really cool. So I'm super grateful for my experience. Part of that work is making videos and teaching you stuff. So I'm making a video that I'm not sure if I was going to ever make. This video could be dense. You know, I don't script any of my videos, so let's see how much I give away by accident. To help you understand this process, first, what Airbnb arbitrage is this really cool way to do Airbnb where you don't have to own the property. You get a landlord or building to lease a property to you, you pay the rent, and you run your business, and after your expenses like utilities, housekeeping, whatever, you should have a net revenue left that you get to keep after rent is paid. That is rental arbitrage or Airbnb arbitrage. It's been around a little while. It's been around before Airbnb even, believe it or not. Hotels do this. They'll rent an entire building, and then they'll run it as a hotel, and they'll keep the spread. So yes, even hotels rent their properties. Arbitrage is legit. And in the hundreds of doors that I've personally signed, or the tens of thousands of doors that people on this YouTube channel have signed, one thing is for sure, every landlord is different, right? And in that experience, we've covered a lot of ground, and we found out what works. We even have a sales system within my company, and a sales system that I teach my students that I won't go all the way in this video, but I'm gonna get awfully close. I'm gonna get really close. And this way, you can understand that it's not just calling and asking for permission. It's really understanding how the world works and how you add value to a landlord's life in a way that will get them to want to lease to you. That's probably the nutshell here, but there's 5 different approaches. I think there's pretty much solid 5 different approaches that you should watch out for when you start to call around to try to pick up leases. And here's the next pro tip. When I say call around, you're not gonna pitch on the phone. You're gonna call around to see properties that are available, properties you can set up tours for, okay? But you're not pitching on the phone. That's a big pro tip. And I'm going to arbitrarily separate 2 styles of pitching. Okay, we're going to go front of house and back of house. I would say front door, back door, but it's a little crass. So front of house style pitching and back of house. And by back of house, I mean you're actually pitching the investors. You're not going in the front door of a building to try to get the job done. You're not going to go in the way that they expect you to, which is calling the number on the for rent sign per se. So we are pitching our biggest deals in a back of house format. We're pitching most of our deals front of house when we have for like 6 years. So let's take it from the top. Oh, by the way, I think I'm supposed to ask you to subscribe, so please and thanks. Okay, number 1, pitching a landlord homeowner to their face is number 1. When I teach a sales system, which is meet the landlord, build rapport, say these words, do the Q&A, go for the close, all the things that we teach, that was enough of a system right there for you to follow. When I teach that, they need to repeat that to internalize it so they're more and more confident. That system plus confidence will equal results. So that's why I recommend my students start with single-family homes. The easiest landlords to find are ones that have for rent signs in the yard. Those are the ones that are very much do-it-yourself, and you have less of a likelihood of having to work through a gatekeeper. The more a landlord tries to do stuff on their own, the more likely you're able to get to them directly, get them to meet you in person, and then pitch them, make a friend, and go for it. Some of my biggest student success stories are just like this. I have a student who's not even really a student anymore. He'd been crushing it. He's pushing 200 to 400 doors by now. Before the pandemic, he had 150 doors in Chicago, and he grew his portfolio by pitching little landlords and creating long-term partnerships that allowed them to pick up more and more doors and just rent him. He took the finding the tenant the part of the equation out and just made it easy for that landlord. Duplicated in cities like Mexico City, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Dallas, Houston, Philadelphia. It's everywhere. Pitching landlords to their face works. Number 2 is pitching apartments to their face. Now, what's really wild about this is in my sales system, we don't ask for permission. That's another really big giveaway. And It's really hard to fathom what I mean until you see it in person. Because if you've never done sales, you may not know the art of assumption. And sales assumption is a big play. So when we walk into an apartment complex and we do our tour, we don't ask them for permission. We tell them what we're up to, we tell them what we do, we show our business model, and we move forward with the application process with so much streamlined confidence that we're trying to get multiple people to buy in. We're taking advantage of the bureaucracy in that sales system. And yes, if you want to learn that one, you're going to have to join Cracking Superhost. There's no way I will teach you that for free in public ever. It's super secret squirrel stuff, and the reason why is because if everybody in the world knew it, it would work less often. What is nuts about these first two, pitching landlords to their face and pitching like apartment complexes to their face? When you do it right, inside of that process, you can ask for free rent. I personally have had deals where the landlord has given me over $600,000 in free rent to sign all the leases. Twice, we've done deals big enough that we've had $600,000 ballpark per deal in concessions. Concessions would be free rent or discounts on rent, stuff like that. Your confidence can lead to more than just a yes, it could lead to free rent. And the coolest thing about free rent on the front of a deal, I want you to imagine this. Let's say you have a little bit of money to start your business and you need to buy furniture, but you also need to pay rent. Well, if the landlord gives you the first 2 months of rent for free, you can start your business, buy the furniture, generate cash, and then start to pay your rent month 3. You can recuperate a lot of that cash that you spent on furniture, which allows you to get the next deal. This is so strange for some people that students in other programs have said, that's impossible. The most a landlord would ever give you is like 2 weeks of rent for free. We have deals in 2023 where we got 10 weeks of rent for free on the deal. I have students who have gotten 12 weeks of rent for free on houses before. Houses, landlords with yards, for rent signs, 3 months of rent for free. It's nuts. Now, how we do that again is not part of this video. Third, I'm gonna call this a third-party pitch. When you call and maybe try to get a landlord to their face, you might run into a property management company or a real estate agent. This is in a way similar to both pitching apartments and houses and trying to find a way to merge them together. Because ultimately you will still pitch the landlord, there'll just be a third person in the room with you as this connecting the dots person who wants to get paid a commission for bringing you into the deal. See, property managers and real estate agents, they make commission on the deal, they make property management fees, they've got skin in the game. So we have to modify our approach. When we get them on the phone and we go to call to find a door to go and tour and we end up getting a real estate agent or a property manager on the phone, we change the nature of what we're saying to them so we can meet them and talk big picture. That's a pretty big distinction because a real estate agent might not think that the one landlord will say yes to your business model, so they'll gatekeep you if you're just talking about one door. If you're talking about 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 doors, you talk big picture, long-term relationship with that real estate agent, they'll be more open-minded to hear what you have to say. And if you don't win that real estate agent over, you don't get to the landlord to pitch. So we find ourselves in this situation a lot, but we're building long-term relationships with real estate agents and property management companies that are allowing us to get deals for years to come if you do it the right way. Now that I think about it, number 4 really is the long-term capitalization of these types of relationships. So number 3 cannot be overstated because we're leaning on that as our number 4 for a long time. Referrals. We're getting referrals, and a lot of times it's real estate agents, or it's property managers that are moving from building to building, or property managers that are in sister properties for companies we're already working with. The art of the referral is a big one, and I can tell you that our best deals have come from doing a good job at one building and then asking them to refer us to another property that's owned by the same property investment firm. So referrals are big. There's really nothing fancy to be said about that. Do a good job and then ask for the referral, guys. Go for it. Now 5 is the back of house. What's really fun about this back of house deals type of strategy is we can strap together really big deals, multiple buildings at the same time, hundreds of doors, entire buildings, really fun stuff. And we're frankly getting so much deal flow from our back of house strategy that we're now incorporating it as a value add in my Cracking Superhost program. So if people are just learning Airbnb, just getting started, they join the program and they need a door, we're doing apartment locating and negotiating services where we're actually also negotiating the free rent. The last time we did this, we got 2 months of rent for free on a deal and we handed that deal off to students. We've got deals in Houston and Dallas currently inking on paper right now, where we're just looking to fill the slots with students who want these doors. We've got deal flow coming up in Florida. We're working on some stuff in California, Pennsylvania, Illinois, the usuals. But as we continue to grow this network of back of house style deals, we are just adding more doors than we could use ourselves. So we're giving them to our students, which is really fun. Now, what can I say about back of house? These are passive investment companies that tend to own lots of multifamily. a lot of times they have a plan for the building. Like they're going to buy a building, they're going to refurbish it, they're going to make it nice, they're going to add leases to the building, and then they're going to sell it and get rid of it. So in a way, a lot of who you're intimidated by because you think that they're too fancy, they're just trying to get in and out of a building. You should be way less intimidated by these back of house deals. Because if you understand the value that you add, when you go to a building and say, hey, I'm going to rent 15 of these properties from you out of the 50 that you have, jack up your occupancy, allow you to get out of the deal faster, I'm solving your problem. Let me in and then get out of your deal. A lot of deals are like this, especially B-class properties. Now, in a lot of major cities, getting to the landlord or getting to these investment groups is a little less clean than it used to be. There's a lot of people that have been trying to do arbitrage, and they'll do all the basic stuff. So if you've ever thought to get on Zillow or Rent.com and call landlords, in a major city like Dallas or Miami, Fort Lauderdale, San Diego, Las Vegas, Philadelphia, Chicago, you're behind the ball. You're just behind the ball because everyone else is doing it that way. Those leads are getting worked. You need to find fresh ways to find new landlords. And I'll tell you, one of the easiest ones, and a lot of people have too much pride to do this, just hop in your car and drive through some neighborhoods. Or if you have a walkthrough for an apartment complex, drive around there too and see if you find any of those for rent signs. The lazy landlords that are not online, because it doesn't matter how cool a city is. If this landlord has not listed their property online, they're not going to get 1,000 calls because no one's seeing the phone number. So you find a landlord who just lists by putting it in the yard because they're super traditional, you might be one of the only few people to ever tell them about this type of opportunity. And that's great for you. But if I can give you one really big tip for all 5 of these, a sale is not just calling and saying, hi, I do short-term rentals. Can you let me do it at your property? There's no magic in that phone call. So please, don't call a landlord and pitch on the phone. And even worse, don't pitch in an email. What you guys are missing is the human touch, the human element. And I'll tell you this too. Let me wag my finger at you guys. If you can't get past the need to be anonymous, if you cannot become human with your landlord, how are you going to be human with your Airbnb customers? This is hospitality after all. So the skills that you learn negotiating with a landlord face-to-face are some of the skills that you carry forth to dealing with your customers when they've had a hard day. This is a lucrative business. You can make a lot of money, but you have to remember, we're in hospitality. We're in the business of servicing people human to human. You cannot automate it away. A software cannot run your business. You can't give some overworked co-hosting company your portfolio and expect it to do well because people are just too busy to care about your one property. I'm sorry, that's the case. And you might see in the comments some people going, no, we're awesome co-hosts, right? Sure, like let them try to pick up your property. But if you really want to make a lot of money and keep all of it, learn the art of influence, learn the art of being human, and start with some sales. Pick up your first property by hand, run it by hand, learn in the trenches. You'll be so happy that you did. So, free stuff for you. I have a free Facebook group called The Hosts of Airbnb Automated. There's a link in the description. You can go there. You can learn a lot there. There's over 60,000 people in that Facebook group. A lot of them are hosts all over the world. And a lot of them use the arbitrage method that I teach, which means you can get some cool tips. Now, if you want coaching, you want to learn how to pitch a deal, you want to learn how to get free rent, like thousands and thousands of dollars in free rent. Imagine getting 10 apartments from a landlord where the rent is $1,500 a month and you get 2 months of rent for free. That's $30,000 in free rent on one deal. You want that opportunity. My program, my mentorship is called Cracking Superhost, and I will make a salesperson out of you. Before I did this, short-term rentals, I trained salespeople in the newspaper industry. And let me tell you, that's a hard industry. Short-term rentals is an easy industry. So if I can make sales superstars in the newspaper world, I can teach you to do good at sales here in short-term rentals. Again, it's my pleasure teaching you. This was a good amount of sauce. I'm pretty satisfied with this video. If you are satisfied with this video, please give it a like. And find me on Instagram or in my free Facebook group. As always, guys, I'll see you on the other side.